Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Halo Forge Epidemic. Now, today I have something very exciting for all the Flood fans out there. We're going to be taking a look at another brand new Flood game type. Now, this game type is called Plague, and it is an amazing modded Flood game type that was kind of pioneered by AbandonedCashew. He modded the settings to fit a concept that actually Insanmiac had thought of. Insanmiac had released a game type idea on his channel, and AbandonedCashew saw this as a perfect opportunity to create a great modded Flood game type. So this game type is not just something like, enabling sprint, enabling player colors. It does so much more than that, and I really do think it's going to push the boundaries of Flood forging for the entirety of Halo 4. So what's different between Plague and other Flood game types? I guess I'll start with showing you guys the preset classes he has made for Flood. When you spawn in as a Flood, you'll immediately get the option to choose between 3 different Flood classes. The first one is Quick Flood, which is faster, weaker, deals less damage, and as you can see is quite a bit smaller in size in comparison to the standard Flood. This is of course the standard Flood here, the standard settings to go with it, but they are fully customizable. And last but not least, the Heavy Flood. And as you can probably guess, these Flood move slower, deal more damage, and they have a massive appearance while also having lots of health. So just the whole idea of having 3 different Flood classes is very refreshing, and I think it's something that we needed with the release of Halo 4. There's just been too many complaints in the past about having next to no options as a Flood. Players get really frustrated as Flood to a point where it's harming gameplay at this point. People are hiding and not even playing the game as Flood. But with Plague, I think Flood now have a new strategy, and that's to work together, choosing classes to have that balance of different enemies, which in turn makes it harder for the humans to prepare. So let's go ahead and take a look at some more things that Plague has to offer. Of course, keep in mind that most of these options can be disabled if need be. So health kits were an option we had in Halo Reach, but were removed. Now, what AbandonedCashew has done is he's made it so that if you pick up a regen field, your health is restored and then the armor ability will delete itself. So it functions just as a health pack would. Now, another thing that absolutely amazes me about the game type is these slow infections. Now, when a human takes a hit, they will slowly turn into a Flood. You'll get a skull on the bottom of your HUD that tells you that you need to be revived. So when you take a hit, you're actually going to have to call out, hey, I need a revive. And then another survivor simply walks near you and automatically revives you. Now, the revive radius can be adjusted, which can come in handy if need be. Again, it's just these insane mechanics that were added to Plague that makes the game type so much different from any other Flood game type. I mean, the list goes on. To name a few more other things, he has weapons on map that are non-ordnance, so you actually have to look for weapons and learn the maps. There's also weapon symbols in the kill feed which tell you who killed who with what weapon. And if that wasn't enough, there are added forging options to go with the game type. Now what this means is if you load up the Plague game type in Forge, you will get the ability to do much more than you would in a regular Flood Forge. By bringing up the object options, setting the piece to game specific, and then selecting any of the following options. Flood Hide. Object appears invisible but still has physics, and this can be used for invisible walls, barriers, etc. Object Scale. Object can be made smaller or larger using the 1 to 5 user data selection option. Now keep in mind it only works with normal physics objects. Show Boundary. Objects' boundaries can be seen. No Weapon. Deletes the weapon off of a vehicle. I'm pretty excited to see how that one turns out. Scorpion Tank linear map? Anybody? Attach parent-child labels. Attaching an object to another object. This was seen earlier in some of the mods. Basically, you can fuse two objects together and turn them into an object that can't be placed in Forge. Dominion Terminal. So now you can capture Dominion terminals, which allows you to activate Dominion pieces in interesting ways. Dominion Fortification. Objects labeled Dominion Fortification will be activated when players capture the corresponding terminal, and then set the spawn sequence number to match the terminal's spawn sequence number. Now last but certainly not least, Dom Door. Now somewhat similar to the fortification label, the piece will change when you capture its terminal, but instead of activating, it will delete itself. So this is a huge leap for making linear maps. We now have doors that open midway through the game, and it's all customizable. So I'm really excited to see what people can do with this beast of a game type, and I can't thank AbandonedCashew enough for putting so much time into this, and also Insanmiac for his original concepts of the game type. So that is going to be it for today. If you guys have any questions or you'd like to give your input on the game type, just leave a comment down below. There may just be an AbandonedCashew looking through those comments. If not, I'll try and answer them as best as I can. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.